Hello, everybody. After yesterday, I thought it was important to cover, and this will only be a one subject thing, that it's important to cover what could be in those boxes because what I found that was that was pretty constant or a pattern is that there were a lot of pentacles in reverse, and as I was saying, that really does speak to money involved, corruption, that sort of thing. And I have been hearing that, that there are things that the things that he didn't destroy are possibly things that could be sold to, I shudder to think of it, and to use for blackmail, which is another um, significance of pentacles in reverse. So this probably isn't going to be a very long video, and I really did it last minute, so I don't even know if anybody's going to be watching for a live chat, but it seems like until I get further instruction, this is really the only way I know how to get anything onto YouTube, because I tried to upload the link that I downloaded on this device, but it wouldn't upload to YouTube. So I need another lesson. Okay. So, at any rate, I just want to get started. And I guess I have a few things to go over. Right now, I'm in my car. When I get back to Pittsburgh, I'll be able to do this in a little bit of a better way, because with it being at Lilydale, I have to respect their rules and not do any kind of broadcast or reading sort of thing without their permission. So I just go over to Tim Hortons and get a drink, and here's what I do. So I guess the first thing is the question of a lot of this why why did not he not destroy all of them? And they've got tons and tons of them, and it makes me wonder, because there's certainly been enough time to destroy them. I don't know if there's enough toilets in there, but I mean, there's certainly enough shredders in the world. So let's see why. Okay, very interesting. Why that we have the Ten of Swords in reverse, which is telling me that that he feels as though that he could, if he's got some aces in the hole, he can make some sort of recovery from what he feels as though he's got this big thing about loyalty and people stabbing him in the back. So I'm feeling as though this could be, he looked ahead of time to see that in case there were the backstabbers, that that he would have some aces in the hole to protect himself and to try to recover from this. So that's interesting. So this is crossed with the energy of, let's see, crossed with the energy. Oh boy, I'm telling you, I've been watching a lot of, as I say, I've been watching a lot of tarot videos, and this card keeps coming up upright and in reverse. And the three of, this is about heartbreak, betrayal. um, it could be also about lies, and just yeah, this is really not a great card. This has been coming, this is one comes up almost every time, no matter who watches this. So this is the energy of the feeling of betrayal, is that he feels that people that have were supposed to give their undivided loyalty to him have really betrayed him. So this kind of a paranoia, plus it goes probably back to the childhood of not feeling that he got the love that he should have. So that this always speaks to me of being expected to have love on love's own terms, and that if that isn't followed by those that are supposed to be loyal, it is a betrayal. So there's kind of like a lot of emotional questions. So this is starting to back up the theory of blackmail, bribery, all this sort of thing. This feels a little closer to home, and I will go into the international stuff. Okay, so in the past, in the past, we have the good old Seven of Cups, which is pretty much about delusions, illusions, that sort of thing. A lot of unresolved issues. So a lot of this is really, I feel as though I get this sense, of course, as I mentioned yesterday, that he never thought he was going to get caught. So it's understandable that there are things that are being saved to kind of feed his illusions and delusions and keep that dream going. So then we have in the present, um, for his reasoning is we've got the Chariot in reverse, and very simply he feels that right now he cannot go on, he cannot continue unless he's got some of this sort of thing to protect himself. So he may be wanting to move forward with announcing his presidential run, and we may get to that one. But this really speaks of him being stuck. And so let's see, the future of this would be okay, the future is um, King of Cups in reverse. And then a lot of kings have been coming up, and especially in reverse. It's kind of like, again, feeds into the delusion of the six of or the Seven of Cups. But this is showing kind of like the emotionally wounded, fallen leaders. So I think he's really in crazy town, and for some reason, I think he felt that he had some material that could really get him out of get him out of trouble. So a lot of this really does point to bribery. So let's see if there's a, let's say I want to see like an outcome card to this. Okay. The outcome is what I'm telling you. When I have been see, this has come up a lot over the months, that this is kind of the family business card, but in reverse. It speaks of a crime family. It's corruption. It's criminal enterprise. Instead of your up, a lot of times in private readings, when this is upright, this is kind of like the family business and the family grocery store with everybody working in it. But this is no, this is the crime family. What I'm going to say is that there is the crime family being exposed, and a lot of fear around that now that the FBI and the probably the Department of Justice has their hands on it. So one question I want to ask, I'm going to go to the domestic thing, and I want to see if there's anything in these cards that talk about, because I get a sense that this covers a range of things. Anything about January 6th, the investigation, because I've been saying all along that everything is going to sort of like tie together. So let's see if there's anything in that material that would be the incriminating January 6th thing. So we have got the Ten of Swords, And that is really about, as far as this goes, they're now that he no longer has those, this is going to make it a lot easier for people to, what how he would see it, stab him in the back and probably wound him in a way that he may not get up. I'm almost seeing this as the biblical tale, and the opera of Samson getting his hair cut off, and that he has lost all of his strength. I'm going to say that in a January 6th kind of way, this is what's been happening, and that this will go to that maybe more people will be coming out now that he no longer has this sort of thing in his hands to use against people. So it's it's crossed with the star, which means that there will be no giving up of trying to manifest and to have things turn out okay. So it's like he'll be hanging in there and hope springs eternal. So I'm going to see what we have for the past in this as far as the January 6th material. Okay, here we go. Here is the this is the Queen of Cups in reverse. And this is a female energy, but it's similar to the King, that it is in, now that it's in reverse. Um, it does speak about the corruption. It brings me to wondering, which is nothing I have seen before, but if there's a lot of stuff that's put into his wife's name as far as protecting him and watching his behind, which would not only be January 6th, but would be a lot of other things that this whole thing could cover. So this could be kind of about, if there are some papers in there which is saying he put some things in her name to kind of take the blame off of him. I'm telling you, that's nothing I ever thought of before, but I find that interesting. So presently, for the January 6th committee, um, okay, this is a couple of different meanings. This is kind of like the plan, but maybe talking about the planning that was being done, and this could mean either getting the money together to book on out of here if that sort of thing hit the fan. Also, the carefully laid plans of this are now falling apart, and this guy's looking at them saying, I don't know what to do next. I think that is where this is at, and I feel as though some of this could be falling into their hands. So let's see the future here. The future again, Chariot in reverse. So he will not be able to move forward, and maybe either destroying or using certain things to blackmail people in Congress. That I think that there were some plans that might have been in those boxes that he can't move forward. I keep thinking that there might be some aces in the hole, and that he never really figured that that any of this was going to be confiscated. So using still yet another deck. So the conclusion is the Ace of Swords, which is saying that all of the truths that he thought would be hidden are about to come out. And this is, I often say that this sword in reverse is the big lie. So I have to say that there is a lot about the big lie in these cards about the election and January 6th that will be coming out, and well, it's just not going to be pretty. So I want to look at I want to look because I get a feeling, and a lot of my colleagues agree that there is something in there about foreign affairs and selling, and I have to say for entertainment purposes only, about selling okay, here we go with the Princess of Cups. And this is kind of like a young female energy. And you know what? This is weird. I haven't thought of this one in ages, but I'm thinking of that young woman. Do you remember of it from like maybe a couple or 3 years ago? Who was all over Mar-a-Lago and with the NRA and all this sort of thing. I think she ended up in jail and then they sent her back to Russia. But she was a kind of like this Russian va 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 voom. I guess slept with a lot of people and in possible espionage and all this sort of thing. So I'm wondering, and we know how he kind of likes the ladies. This is making me wonder if there was some kind of an emotional tie to a younger woman that could have involved maybe selling secrets to take back to Russia, and that there's something there could be. I have to be careful with my wording. That there could be something in all of these papers that could indicate it's someone very much like this person who, and I have to say, was probably a guest at Mar-a-Lago. And so let's see, the energy of that would be, I'm going to again use this new deck of mine. Let's see. The energy of that is the Four of Wands upright. And as with Mar-a-Lago has a lot to, I'm going to say that this is a having worked at hotels, this is a kind of venue that does a lot of parties and weddings and that sort of thing. So what this is telling me is that the energy is around a lot of things being kind of passed back and forth and sold, and at social events, or social events being used to kind of like as a front, like there's money laundering, but there's also maybe information laundry that somehow went through a number of these celebrations. And I would be very interested. Oh, in fact, there was some Chinese person running around Mar-a-Lago too. This is really interesting that all of this is stored there. And I would say that someday someone's going to make a big spy movie about with some big Florida ostentatious resort golf place that's going to be the center of all of this sort of thing, with women with bikinis and all this kind of stuff. So I would also say that this is the marriage of the Trump people, or Trump with with other leaders, and kind of selling things off to the highest bidder, but kind of doing them through couriers and things at weddings, and that because that place is, I guess that's a very good place to do that. So it's interesting because these things never occur to me. So let's see, in the past we have the Eight of Swords in reverse. So in some ways, I would say that the meaning is not always the opposite in reverse, and I'm picking up that it is even stronger. So there's a whole lot of um, making up the thoughts as one goes along, and then becoming a prisoner of them, and being blindfolded and blind to what's going on. And I would say that because this is in reverse, this is very, very powerful. A very, very powerful card. Like a lot of delusions a lot of delusions and not ever believing. So building up this prison of thoughts, um, saying that because of this, that, and the other thing, and I bought these people, that these truths will never be revealed. But the gravity is pulling those swords away and all of those lies that will be coming true. So, at any rate, I don't even know if anybody's on here. Okay, so at any rate, we've got that in the past. Now, the present, I'm going to pull one of these for the present here. Again, and I've been putting them in a shuffled way. Again, we have the Ten of Swords. So there could be people that will be, as these, as people go through these papers, that there will be people caught and flipping on. So there will be some backstabbing and going on with this. So in the future, as far as all of this foreign intrigue goes, we have the Lovers, which is about alliances, trying to make alliances, that sort of thing. So I would say that there will be alliances that I always see this as in foreign affairs as Trump and Putin and maybe some other dictators that they will be heavily aligned with, but there is a little bit of distance in this deck as well as in the traditional rider deck, that there is some distance. So that I'm going to say that, I have other decks where they're just all wrapped up in each other's arms, but not this one. I'm going to say they're together, but maybe not quite trusting um, each other. So I also have to say that I'm picking up some energy that this major love for Trump may be fading. I don't think people would come out and say it, but I was driving around today. I got lost in the countryside in the heart of New York City, in kind of some sort of shabby country little towns and the countryside, and I didn't see one single Trump sign. And I saw a few earlier this summer, but you're just not seeing them anymore. I mean, maybe in some places, but this is the area that you would expect to see them. But I thought that this may be his becoming irrelevant. So I think there's kind of like there may be, I think that as far as his fundraising stuff goes, I think there could be, whether it's been successful enough, a a selling of secrets to foreign leaders. But I will say this, that because of a lot of the volume of those papers they've confiscated, I would say I feel like there are things that he was going to do, but he didn't get around to them yet. So this could be well timed as far as national security goes. So let's see about the blackmail. I always like a good blackmail story. Okay, so blackmail wise, let me see here. Okay. I'm going to say that I'm going to say that there has been something maybe with the fundraising for finding people that are vulnerable, maybe about to lose, that I would say the people in Congress, whatever, that have been supporting him, that possibly the fear of poverty, or the fact that there would be some information that would be revealed that would take away people's careers, their fortunes, this sort of thing. So I would say that, here we go with our good old friend, the Pentacles, that this is a card of poverty, but this is also in reverse. It means to be removed from poverty or prevented from that. So I'm going to say that as far as the blackmail stuff goes, blackmail and bribing, as far as the congressmen go, is that he had stuff that I think he has had stuff on people that could send them to the poorhouse. So let me see energetically what's crossing this as far as the blackmail aspect. Okay, the magician. There has been the energy of the magician, because I feel as though there's a whole bunch of stuff in all of in all of these papers. That's I mean, it covers everything from emotional stuff, maybe revealing scandalous affairs, or the ruination of careers, um, certain truths coming out about people. And so I get a sense there is a bunch of whatever was gathered that maybe in those, and maybe compromised photographs and all that sort of thing. So it seems as though there was a lot of gathering of things that while he was president, that I keep getting this putting it in the bank for a rainy day. And so I'm getting a real sense intuitively that there was that, I see that, like the villain thing with the mustache saying, "Oh, foiled again." And this is what's going to happen now that all of these are gone. So let's see. The past with the blackmail thing. Oh, but this card keeps coming up as feeding into people's illusions and delusions, and knowing their weaknesses. That I think that there has been a lot of that in the present. I would say that that there is kind of a moving. Well, when I see this card and I see the sphinxes, I sometimes feel as though that things were moving along very slowly and could possibly come to a halt. So this is showing some of the moving slowly, but that slow down or stop. So let us see what is the future. What's the future bringing? Okay, the King of Swords. Okay, King of Swords is saying, "Here comes the judge." So I would say that there is going to be certain things coming. That a lot of times when you see royal people with swords, that they often represent lawyers and judges, that sort of thing. So that's talking about possibly some things that could be backfiring. That now that he doesn't have now that the FBI has all of this stuff, that there may be people proceeding with lawsuits, and that there could be some judgments against him as the truth comes out. So that's what's going on now. Let's see now. Let's see what the future has as far as. Wow, put this at the still in delay. This keeps coming up, and it's come up for other readers. So this is all about still living in a world of illusions and delusions, and thinking there's another hat to be pulled out of the rabbit to be pulled out of the hat. And to as a conclusion for this, the Knight of Pentacles, and I would say this is all the hard work that has been done that is now bringing the results of this. And I would say a lot of times I feel as though this is the follow the money card, that slowly but surely, as people do the tedious, and this is where a lot of what's going to happen with librarians and archivists and financial forensic people, is that slowly but surely, as they wade through this, a lot of the key to, and I would say this goes for all of these categories, is that the very painstaking, hard workhorse of follow the money is going to reveal a lot. And this horse doesn't gallop. This could be the horse that Merrick Garland has been plodding along with, doing all of the leg work. So there's going to be a lot of leg work, but it really comes down to the theme of the money. And that's where a lot of the bribes and the blackmail and all of this stuff is. And when they follow the money, that's where the truth will be found. But people want like all of these shocking, revealing things to happen, come out at once. It won't, especially the national security stuff that may be leaking out in dribs and drabs. Some of the juicier, sexier stuff may come to light, that doesn't affect national security. But there are going to be, as I said yesterday, there are going to be a lot of things that we won't know about right away. But I do feel as though the indictments will move forward. I think it's getting closer to him. I'll do a reading about what I think about whether he'll go to jail or not. I'm with the others. I just don't see him in prison, but I do see the accountability factor coming in. So at any rate, this whole thing about what's in all of these boxes and that sort of thing has struck my curiosity, and a lot of my colleagues are talking about this on YouTube. So I thought I needed to do, and it was last minute. So even though this is live, I hope you tune in later and listen to this. So I will end this now and wish all of you having a very nice afternoon. Bye.